Are you in a calorie deficit, doing hours of cardio, lifting weights every single day? What about eating tiny portions or fasting for the entire day and still not seeing the scale change? If your goal is to lose fat this year but nothing seems to be working, don't worry guys, I have the answer for you in this video. Your lack of progress could be the result of one or all of these three simple mistakes that I see so many people making, and honestly, I've made myself. I just spent an entire year bulking guys, and I put on quite a bit of muscle, but also a lot of fat, like a lot of fat. Since the end of the bulk, I've been losing fat consistently every single week with pretty much no issues. I'm down about 15 kg right now, so hopefully soon I'll have my abs back. If you're watching this right now, chances are you're trying to lose fat as well and struggling to see any progress. In all honesty, losing fat isn't hard. Once you've got the basics down, you know, your calorie deficit and exercise, it's straightforward from there. However, it can be hard if you think you're doing all the right things, but nothing is changing. I've been in this position myself at the start of my fitness journey, and it really does suck not knowing where you're going wrong. But keep watching, because this could be where you're slipping up. So let's get right into these three simple mistakes that are keeping you fat, and listen up because the third one's probably going to shock you. A major mistake I see people making is underestimating the amount of calories in their food. But where a lot of people go wrong is not tracking the little things that you add to your food. When you're adding ingredients like sauces and dips or the oil you use to cook, you might just not bother to weigh it out or track it. And I mean, that's fair enough, it's a pain in the ass, but you'd be surprised how many extra calories you're consuming. Sauces like mayonnaise, tomato sauce, and especially olive oil are really calorie dense, and most sauces have a heap of added sugar, bumping up those calories. Let's take mayonnaise for an example. 1 tablespoon has 93 calories, and I know damn well that none of you guys are using 1 tablespoon of mayonnaise. So you can imagine how quickly that could add up. Another big one is snacking on things that seem small throughout the day without even thinking. If you're hungry in between meals, which you definitely will be, you might find yourself grabbing a handful of nuts or a small piece of chocolate. Problem with that is, if you get into this habit, you'll end up doing it more than you think. And again, when these little things add up, you'll be back at maintenance or even in a surplus. And you'd be surprised how quickly a couple nut bars can take you out of your 500 calorie deficit without even really killing the hunger. A good way to combat this is to just stay as hydrated as possible. Drink your water guys, have some caffeine in the form of black coffee or a zero sugar energy drink. And the major one is to keep your protein intake as high as you can in your main meals, because that's going to keep you feeling fuller for longer. But I mean, if you are going to snack, which you probably will, just track everything so you know you're not going over your calorie goal. Another mistake I see often is people having this excessive fasting mentality. Intermittent fasting, which is pretty much just skipping breakfast so you can eat more later in the day, it can be useful in weight loss, but the problems start when you overdo it. If you're trying to fast all day or even for days at a time, you're going to not only feel like shit, but have no energy, and your chances of binging out and eating way over your goals increases a crazy amount. I also see this with people who are just too restrictive in general on their diet and never eat any of the foods that they actually crave. Chances are eventually diet fatigue is going to set in and you'll binge 3 large McDonald's Happy Meals or some shit. Best way to stop this happening is to incorporate small amounts of the foods that you like while tracking them to make sure you're still in a deficit. It's a much more consistent approach, and it's going to keep your diet going for as long as it needs to. Once I started taking notice of these 3 simple little things, fat loss became so much easier and consistent. On my current cut guys, having this knowledge has made everything so much easier, and if you lock in, trust me, you're going to be shredded in no time. So leave a comment and let me know if you guys have run into any of these mistakes, and yeah, thanks for watching guys. Like, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace!